Let me ask you a chicken and egg question. It's famously Alan Greenspan, the former chair of the Fed in the US, is a Ayn Rand devotee. He would go and listen to chapter and verse on hyper-individualism and the Ayn Randian approach of abject selfishness and getting on at all costs. The chicken and egg question is this: did neoliberalism come first to play into the narcissistic aspect of society, or has neoliberalism birthed this? So did our Chicago boy, Milton, Friedman economists come out and exploit narcissism, or did the neoliberal system just play to the most base human attributes, if you like, and say, actually, we can have these animal traits, animal spirits, in fact, reign supreme?
Well, I think that the original, the way society was moving before the advent of neoliberalism was quite different. So that when neoliberalism came from the wings, as it were, to deal with problems of stagflation and problems perceived of too much power held by unions and so on, I don't think people really understood exactly what it would usher in.
Right.
But it also, this is a key point, like narcissism itself is usually serving the privileged. The narcissist puts himself in a position of privilege. And in neoliberalism, this was a system that privileged financial elites, that privileged political elites, that privileged the top 1%, but even the top 20%, while wages of the ordinary folk stagnated, both everywhere where neoliberalism took root. But I think that the harsher, more punitive and more competitive, so I call it hyper-competitive system, did actually cause more narcissistic behaviour. People will report huge differences in the nature of academia over 20 to 30 years in behaviour of people, and the kind of pressure people are under, the stress people are under to keep their jobs is quite different in many, many workplaces. So the rise of a precariat of people in the gig economy and people who have part-time casual work, people who have insecure, low-paid jobs, usually in the care sector, in an aged care home or in childcare centres, all of those people are dealing with a society that serves a very different group, an elite group, and a group that more or less talk to each other. Often the kind of sense of reality which is conveyed by TV, by newspapers, is always suggesting that government, business, education is on behalf of all. But actually what we've seen is a hollowing out of many of those institutions, and even a corruption of those institutions, because of the rise not only of individual narcissism, but because narcissism kind of works in order to get ahead, and a new kind of norms of self-enhancement take over, and people tend to be much more ruthless, and there's a new kind of character ideal which has taken form and taken root.